Hi, third grade. Today, what we're going to be working on are the gram and the kilogram. These are the metric units used to measure mass, similar to the ones that we use in our customary units of ounces and pounds. Now, before you continue with this video, I want to make sure you watch the Brain Pop Junior video first and watch Annie and Moby as they give you some examples and show you a little bit more about grams and kilograms. And then you can come back to this. So if you have not watched the Brain Pop Junior video yet, that goes along with our lesson today, I want you to stop this video, jump over to Brain Pop Junior, watch that video, then come back here and we'll talk some more about these. If you've already watched that video, then we're going to continue. So if we look at this page from our math book, the gram is used to measure light objects. A small feather, for example, can be used as a benchmark for 1 gram. So a small feather has a mass of about 1 gram. Something else that you could use is a paper clip. A small paper clip weighs or has the mass of about 1 gram. Now, a kilogram can be used to measure heavier objects. A textbook, like your math book or your reading book, can be used as a benchmark for 1 kilogram. So a textbook has a mass of about 1 kilogram. So keep that in mind, that a good object to think of as a gram is a feather or a paper clip, whereas a kilogram is a book, like a textbook. And if you see the conversion on this page, it takes 1,000 grams to equal 1 kilogram. So 1,000 feathers would equal the same amount of mass as that one dictionary. You'd need 1,000 feathers to be the same mass as the dictionary. Okay, so keep that in mind. And remember, grams are for smaller objects to measure, or lighter objects, and kilograms are for heavier objects. So let's continue. We're going to look at some work to go with this. So we're going to be looking at the kilogram. Now remember, 1,000 grams, 1,000 feathers equals 1 kilogram, which is about the mass of a dictionary. So let's look at this bag of potatoes. If you've ever been grocery shopping with mom or dad or grandma or whomever, you might have had to buy a bag of potatoes. Maybe you had to carry them in from the house. Think about it. Do they weigh more than a kilogram, about a kilogram, or less? Think of that math book or the dictionary. Does a bag of potatoes weigh more than that, about the same, or less? If you said more than a kilogram, you would be correct, because it usually does weigh quite a bit more than a dictionary or your math book. All right. Now, what about a bunch of bananas? We're going to be back at the grocery store. You're buying a bunch of bananas. This bunch has about 6 or 7 bananas in it. Do you think it weighs more than a kilogram, about a kilogram, or less than a kilogram? Think about your math book. If you said that it weighs about 1 kilogram, you would be correct. It does weigh about 1 kilogram. All right, let's go over here. Now we have a rooster. Oh my goodness, this male chicken. Think about that. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever picked one up, because I'm not sure that's a really good idea, because he's going to try to get away. He might peck at you too. But what do you think? Do you think that it weighs more than your math book, like this bag of potatoes, or about the same as your math book, like this bunch of bananas? Because I don't think you think it weighs less. If you said more than, you would be correct. All right. Now let's go down to this cracker. 1 cracker. You having a cracker for snack? You hold that cracker in your hand. Is it going to weigh more than your math book, about the same as your math book, or less than your math book? That one's a pretty easy one, don't you think? It would definitely be less than a kilogram, more like a feather or a paper clip. All right, now a dog. Now this dog, we're going to go with this dog. Looks like a golden retriever. They're bigger dogs, right? Do you think that's going to weigh more than, less than, or about the same as your math book? I would agree, more than a kilogram. All right, and one last one in this section, a muffin. Oh, very good. That looks like a delicious little muffin there for breakfast. What do you think? These are going to weigh more than your math book, less than your math book, or about the same? Well, I think if you said less than a kilogram, you would be correct because you would not want to eat a very heavy muffin, right? So less than a kilogram. All right, now we're going to look at some other problems. Okay, so which unit? We're going to look at grams and kilograms right now to figure out which unit we would use to measure these objects. Now remember, grams are used to measure smaller or lighter, not smaller, but lighter objects, whereas kilograms are used to measure heavier objects. So think about your computer. Now, I don't mean your phone or your iPad. Think about a computer. Are we going to measure it more with something that measures a feather or a paperclip, or more with something that weighs like a book? If you would say gram, yeah, I would tend to agree with you that you would be correct. I mean, not gram. Oh my goodness. Mrs. Lobham's wrong. Kilogram. I was thinking the wrong thing. All right, kilogram, because kilograms are used to measure heavier objects. Now, what about a comb? Think about your comb you comb your hair with. I don't think you have a comb that weighs as much as your math book, so I would say gram would go there. Now, what about a classmate? Now, is your classmate, it's gonna take a whole lot of feathers to weigh the same as a student. Then take less books to weigh the same as a student. So if you were gonna put you and books or feathers on a balance scale, you're gonna need fewer books. So a kilogram would be correct. What's your toothbrush? Again, probably not using a really heavy toothbrush, like a really heavy comb you're not using either. So we would go with grams. All right, bowling ball. Oh, remember back in the good old days called Catholic Schools Week when we went bowling? It seems like forever ago. And you had to pick up that bowling ball. Are you going to say it weighs like a bunch of feathers or a bunch of dictionaries? Yep. Kilograms, a bunch of dictionaries. Okay, last one in this section. If you are going to look at a letter, you get a letter in the mail from Mrs. Lobham. Is it going to be really heavy like that dictionary? Or is it going to be light as a feather? Or somewhere in between, most likely. But which would you use to measure? Since it's a lighter object, I think you would say a gram. All right, let's go to this next section. A fly. We're going to guess the best estimate. There's a lot of bests and guests and estimates there. So a fly, a little fly flying around. Is it about 2 grams, 200 grams, or 20 kilograms? Now remember, grams are used for lighter objects. So we could probably cross out this 20 kilograms. Now, do you think it would be really light, like 2 grams, like 2 feathers, or like 200 feathers? I agree. 2 feathers. So 2 grams. Good. All right, now what about a horse? A big horse. If you've ever gone horseback riding. 30 grams, 30 kilograms, or 300 kilograms? Remember, grams are for lighter objects, so we could probably say no to this one. So 30 kilograms or 300 kilograms. If you've ever ridden a horse or been around a horse, they're pretty heavy, aren't they? So I think that if we're going to measure this horse in its mass, we're going to say it's more likely to be 300 kilograms than 30. More like 300 of your math books, not just 30 of them. All right, and the last one, we're going to talk about that golden retriever dog on the last page because I think we have all kinds of different sizes of dogs. We could have a little teeny tiny Chihuahua, or we could have a big Mastiff. All right, there's lots of kinds of dogs. So let's go with like a middle of the road, or like that Golden Retriever on the last page. Remember, grams again for smaller, or not smaller, but lighter objects. So let's not count that. So is it going to weigh about as much as a horse? I don't think so, unless it's a really big, heavy dog and a really little horse, right? So 25 kilograms would be correct here. We're going to do one more page, and then what I'd like you to do is some practice on your own on our website. So let's look here. We're going to fill in these blanks just like we did with all the other conversions. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. 2 kilograms equals 2,000 grams. Well, then what should go here? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. 3 kilograms equals 3,000 grams. 4 kilograms equals, yes, 4,000 grams. And 5 kilograms equals 5,000 grams. So now that makes it easier to solve these problems. So let's look at them. 3,000 grams and 3 grams. Well, they're in the same column here, so that must be dun, 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 equal. Very good. Now let's look here. 2,500 grams. Well, that's not up here, but 2 grams is. And 2 grams equals 2,000, or 2 kilograms equals 2 grams. Mrs. Lawton's having trouble here. Let's reverse that a second. 2 kilograms equals 2,000 grams. But we're looking at 2 kilograms and 2,500, or 2,500 grams. Well, that's greater than that. So then it must be greater than that. So greater than would be the answer there. Let's do a few more together. Then I'm going to set you on your own to work. Number 19, 4 kilograms. Well, that's up here. Well, 4 kilograms equals 4,000 grams. Well, here we have 4 kilograms and 4,100 grams. Well, this is bigger, so we would have to say less than. Let's look at this one. 2,900 or 2,900 grams and 3 kilograms. Well, up here, 3 kilograms equals 3,000 grams. Well, this is less than 3,000 grams, so easy there, less than. All right, 5,000 grams, 5 kilograms. We'll look up here, 5 kilograms, 5,000 grams. That's an easy one too. Not plus, equal. And our last one, 1,500 grams or 2 kilograms. Again, this isn't up on our chart, but 2 kilograms is. And 2 kilograms equals 2,000 grams. Well, this is 1,500 grams. Well, that's less than 2,000 grams. So, guess what? We have one more less than. All right, I hope that this lesson helped you. I hope that you watched the Brain Pop video before you watched my video. And now what I want you to do is go and do the practice on our website. Okay, I want to see how well you're doing. And then tomorrow we will not be having math because we will be doing our virtual field day. And then hopefully on Wednesday, you will be doing a measurement review escape room. So until then, bye-bye.